there! Today I am going to be doing a little painting, and along the way I'm going to be sharing with you 3 of the biggest painting tips to paint impressionistic or loose or painterly without overworking it, without it being too detailed and rigid, because I love that free-flowing, expressive feel in my paintings. And if you know me, I am not about perfection or creating a perfect painting. But what I really love and what I want for you as well is to find the fun and joy in that creative expression. So I'm going to be sharing with you those 3 tips for really painting in that impressionistic way. I'm going to go into the garden with that in mind and pick some little sprigs of some flowers, because very often we can rely on photographs, whereas today I want to do a little painting from life. I want to set up my own little still life with some flowers. So I really recommend that you do this as well, because it's a really nice way to kind of interact with a 3D object and paint it. So let's go into the garden and grab some flowers. Okay, so I'm back from the garden, and these are my finds, my little foraging finds. And it's so nice to think that these have just, oh, I'm spilling water everywhere. It's so nice to think that like these have grown, like, you know, in and around my garden and my family. So weirdly, I feel like when I just shove them in a jar, I actually just love the composition, rather than like if I try and like fiddle and tweak it and make a nice composition. That being said, I'm still going to have a go at kind of making a little flower arrangement. And I also have this, which is a really good tip, which is just a pack of coloured card, which you can use as like a backdrop. So if you're ever doing a still life, you can pick the colour background that you'd like to include, because rather than just painting on the background, it is important that that colour does surround the flowers, because it all reflects that colour too. So I might either pick something harmonious, like a green, or something very like contrasting and striking, like orange or yellow. So we'll see how it goes. And if you really like painting impressionistic florals and you'd like a bit more guidance, then please do register for the waitlist below, because I'm going to be opening up very soon a painting impressionistic florals class. So if that sounds like something that you'd love to be a part of, just join the waitlist and you'll be the first to hear about when it opens up again. So let's have a little play around with this composition and see if I can create a little still life that I want to paint. So after much playing, I think I've finally chosen my like final composition. Yes, this is a paint tube, and yes, I have spilled water all over myself. So I did make a couple that I really liked, but I think with this size, I wanted it a bit more compact. I tend to kind of like pull them out and like very much to the side, because I love that composition, whereas I think that suits like a big canvas. But I think for a smaller one, I want to keep it a bit more compact, so that's why I've landed on this. And also I love these colors together. The purples and the oranges and the yellows just like sing to my brain, so that's what I'm excited to paint. And I always think it's good to follow what you're excited about. It's not about, you know, what we paint best or what we think we should do. It's about what brings you joy, what makes you feel that excitement inside. That's always a really good place to follow your intuition with that. Right, let's move on to the first tip of the painting video. That is the first tip to painting impressionistic. And my favorite tip, because it's one that tends to make people feel uncomfortable, is paint using big brushes. Now, you'll see my canvas is quite small, and yeah, I'm going to start with this big wide brush. So if you've got a big canvas, you can go even bigger, and then I'm going to use these, I'm going to say smaller, but they're still pretty big brushes to compose and block in those shapes. So these, I believe, oh, this is a 1 inch. And this is a 3/4 inch. So those are the brushes I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be using this big one to block in the background and kind of like the main shapes to begin with. So that is my first tip for painting impressionistic. The reason why that works is because it takes away the control. When we use these tiny little paintbrushes like this one, we have like too much control, and we're all put into the painting, and we can't let that looseness appear. So using big brushes allows that loose, playful energy to go into the painting without you really having to try and do that. So let's get started and let's start putting down our first shapes. So I've been mostly focusing on the shapes and kind of like the color temperatures and the shadows and the lights. Now, my second biggest tip for painting impressionistic is to simplify shapes. So rather than seeing a petal or a leaf or a flower, I just want you to study the shape that you see and then use your brush to recreate that shape. Now, when I'm about to paint in some of the foliage, and I'm going to use quite a dark green because I'm also going to use that to carve out some of the flowers in the foreground, because it is obviously in the background, the foliage is. So if I take some green, I'm actually going to just pop in a little bit of magenta just to take down that saturation. And I'm going to use this quite dark colour to kind of map in those shadows. So when I'm thinking about the shape, I'm not just thinking about a leaf shape, I'm thinking about the actual shape. So for example, here I can see that there's kind of like a triangle shape. So I'm going to use my brush, and it doesn't matter if it's exact, but we're just kind of using that to kind of recreate what we see. And then I can cut back into the painting to kind of carve out some of these shapes. And I'm not going to worry about going over what I've already done, because I love layers to kind of bounce back and forth between each other. See here, there's like a leaf shape. Well, as I say, it's not a leaf shape, it's just like a leaf, but it's going into that petal. So I can literally use the shape of the leaf in the background to create my petal shape. Now, of course, I'm going to go back over with petals, but it's just to really show how we can use shapes to simplify. So rather than thinking I'm painting a leaf, I'm painting foliage, I'm just literally kind of playing spot the difference between my painting and my reference, and just kind of working through that. Now, funnily enough, actually, this leaf at the bottom is actually quite a leaf shape. But especially when we come onto the later layers, rather than just doing, you know, lines straight down into the vase, you can kind of see it's very jagged. And we'll play around with those layers a little bit later on. But mainly it's just focusing on that shape that you see in the reference, rather than thinking, I'm going to paint a leaf and creating that classic, you know, leaf shape. So I'm just going to continue to work through looking at the shapes that I really see and adding those onto my painting. Now, as your painting starts coming together, my third and final tip for this video is to stand back from your reference and your painting. So I like to come, the other side of the room at least 2 meters away and really have a look at the shapes, see what's working and see what's not working. Now, as I look at mine and as I stand back, which I just stood at the back of the room and kind of took it all in, I noticed this really strong green line that goes all the way down to the bottom, and I feel like compositionally it just doesn't work. And so what can be really good at this stage is to get hold of a long handle paintbrush. I still love a flat edge because it keeps that impressionistic feel and style, and I will literally kind of stand at a distance and pop my shapes in, and I can even squint that. Now, I know on the reference photo there is that long line, and that's why, although I like to reference photo, my still life, and that's why, although it's great to use a reference, whether that's a photograph or a still life, you can still change bits. You don't have to copy it exactly, because now I see this like straight line. I'm not a fan. So I'm going to use a bit of my imagination, but I'm just going to move things around a little bit from real life onto the canvas just to make sure that my painting works. And if you want more guidance with especially impressionistic paintings with that loose painterly expressive style, I'm going to be opening up my new florals course very, very soon. So I'll pop the link to that in the description box to join the wait list, because it's not yet open, but if you join the wait list, you'll get notified first and foremost as soon as it opens up. So let's crack on, and I'm going to kind of start amending this. I've got to that kind of refining stage where it's mostly there, the main parts are there, it's just kind of tweaking here and there, which is almost like the hardest part, I think, and sometimes it can take the longest as well, but it's okay. I've got my iced coffee that I've just made. I'm going to stand at the back of the room and just kind of assess and use my long handle paintbrush to just amend any bits that I feel like need changing. So there we go, I think it's finished, and I just want to thank you so much for joining me today in the studio. I am tempted now to paint the other pictures that I took and the other little bouquets that I made. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna carry on going because I just really enjoy this way of working. It's very intuitive, but it's not just blobs of paint here and there. There is also a process, and what I'm seeing in my mind is shapes and contrast, and trying to use a big wide flat brush to recreate those. So it is important to have fun, but also to get those foundational core skills in as well as an artist. But I hope that this has inspired you to take some flowers, maybe from your own garden, or to buy yourself a beautiful bouquet and to paint them, make a still life. Have fun, and I'll see you in the next video next week. Bye.